Good morning. My name is Dennis Willich. I'm with Nationwide Southwest, and I'm here today with Troy Siimons from Belfurniture, and I want to introduce Troy at this point. So, Troy, good morning. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well.
Good, good. Well, let's talk a little bit about, first of all, why don't you give me a little background about Belfurniture? How long has Belfurniture been in business and all that?
So we're going into our 26th year. Well, that'll be celebrated in April for our anniversary. We've grown since I've been with the company for about 12 years now. We've doubled in size. We've gone from a lot of smaller boxes to going into larger retail boxes. Our target stores now are from 70 to 140,000 square foot. In the past, we were in 20 to 40,000 square foot buildings.
Okay.
Over the last 10 years, we've grown quite a bit.
Yeah, that's a big increase. How many locations do you have, Troy?
As of today, we've got 14, and we've got another one on the horizon for hopefully mid to end 2026.
I got you. Boy, that's nice. Well, listen, let's talk a little bit about overall your marketing. How do you go about marketing? What are the marketing tools that you use in the marketplace? For an example, you using, I'm sure, social media. Do you do radio, television, any of the other things? What are some of the things you use down there?
We do a little bit of TV and radio for like branding, but really targeting wise, we've backed off on some of those traditional avenues to go into more like you brought up, Facebook, Meta. You can actually target the customers that look like the customers that are buying from you by giving your database into those platforms, and they help you go out and search for customers that are like people that are already buying from you. Same thing with Google. Obviously, right now Google's still king, but the age we are right now, everything's shifting. Everybody was about SEO, search engine optimization. Now it's about geo. Now they're all doing AI searches, so you got to stay on the forefront of that as well. We're always looking for new platforms and different ways to reach people, and somewhat stay ahead of the curve as much as possible.
Right. Let me ask you this question: when you take a look at your overall business model, do you cover like a wide range from maybe entry level, mid, and even up in the high end, or what is your spectrum?
So like our product mix?
Yeah.
So when we started 26 years ago, we were definitely a promotional company. And that was our whole thing is, we bought it cheap, sold it cheap. We've evolved over time. We do have some of that promotional stuff as well. But what we've learned, obviously, a lot of people have, there's three segments of customers. You got the promo customer, you got the high-end customer, which is about 20% of the market, but then there's about 80% that's right in the middle. They want good quality furniture, but they still need promo type price. So we've able to, over the last 15 years, go from promo type merchandise to more of the mid to upper end merchandise, but still offer a promo price. And that's because of the way we buy. We do things a little bit different than most competitors. We actually source our merchandise ourselves. We travel over to seas. We go negotiate directly with the factories. We're importing the stuff on ourselves, private labeled with our brand. And then we also do the same thing in Mexico. So we're not, dealing with, marketing companies or agents, moving furniture, or dealing with a lot of domestic companies that are, everybody has an upcharge. They're bringing product in, doing assembly. So we go to the source, we buy it direct, bring it in, so we're able to get better quality stuff, but still offer it at a great value for our customer.
Boy, that's good. So you've got a full-time team working in just that one arena then to keep up and go to the factories and all of the ways that that's got to get done, and all the logistics. How do you choose the furniture look? How do you have people there that stay on top of that so that you've got right fabrics, right looks, so that things are in tune with the public out there all the time?
For sure. So we do. That's another way we're able to control our cost is the size of our team. Most companies our size, like you said, have teams all over the country doing different things. We are a very, very tight group of, employees and owners. We're owned by two brothers. And really your executive team is the two owners, which is, Sid and Jamal Molai, and then myself. Our marketing team is me and Sid and Catalina. So we run very, very thin again, so we can, get those values back to the customer. But back to your point of, the styles and the fabrics, stuff like that. Yes, we do research all the time. We go to the furniture market. We're in Vegas, we're in High Point. Just more recently, in Nashville for nationwide program, and then a lot of it's research. Going out looking at different magazines, online articles about what the styles and the trends and the colors for the next year is going to be, and then
Right.
talking to factories, what are the fabrics, looking at different samples, and obviously looking at competitors as well.
I got you. Well, you're right on one thing. I'll tell you what, it's all about controlling overhead and all of that. And we run the same way. I mean, we're a tight ship here. We've got 1,100 plus members, but our team in the field and our inside team. I mean, for what we do and everything. I mean, we got a very, very tight ship here. And you got to do that. You got to stay on top of all of that. What is the mix in your organization between furniture and bedding? What's your percentage of furniture versus bedding?
So bedding is it depends on the location, but average company wide, we're about 20% bedding. The total.
Okay. All right. Now, in the bedding side, I know you mentioned furniture and all that. In the bedding side, do you have the name brands in there and some of that, or how's that work?
So the name brands we sell for the most part is Spring Air and Restonic. Then I have some other private labeled. We focused over the last couple of years building our own brand of mattress, again, to control costs, to give them a great value product similar to what they're going to see in another retailer. But we're not having to pay a brand name, a brand fee. So we're able to roll those savings to the consumer's pocket, still give them a quality product, but at a much better price.
I got you. And when you're looking at your manufacturing on bedding, you go to probably more of the U.S. bedding companies and find a company there that works directly with you to build something where you have a private label brand, or do you go overseas there as well?
We used to do a lot of mattress business overseas, especially for the all foam, but everybody knows the foam business, coming from overseas is a lot more difficult nowadays than it used to be in the past. So we focus on more of our domestic partnerships. And then we also focus a lot on Texas, partnerships as well, just so we can control the cost on the freight and shipping and making sure we're able to get the merchandise real fast. And then it's also obviously easier to go to the factory, actually touch the fabrics, touch the samples, see the foam, and actually, being part of building the mattress that we want for ourselves.
That's good. By the way, I was curious. We do a lot of business in. Do you guys sell the extended warranty, the service contracts, and stuff like that? Do you add that on, or is that something you do?
That's a big part of our business. We use Guardian. I guess it got bought out by one point, but we still call them Guardian.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, it's incredible, and what we're finding now, Troy, is, my God, the younger generations, especially, they go for warranty. I mean, they didn't know we're adding a warranty on the percentage we add on today versus back with my generation. My generation said, "Why would we need a warranty? I thought you'd sell me a good product."
Exactly.
But today it's like, "Hey, man, yeah, we want that. You got one." In fact, they even asked for it and put it on. So it's a tremendous profit area for everybody. And again, it also ties you together with your customer itself and the things like that. what do you guys do when you are you doing a lot of the geofencing and some of those kinds of things in your marketing approach?
Yeah, we do geofencing. I'm sure everybody else does in the world too. So, but
Yeah,
yes, we
yeah,
make sure we're conquesting new customers and getting our message in front of customers that are actively in the market and shopping for sure.
right. Years ago, a lot of companies. I don't know if you guys have this kind of avenue or not, but there was years ago back we would approach anyone moving in, and they used to have what they called the welcoming basket, and the stuff out there. And do you have a list, or do you have a way of knowing when a new, like a home is built, somebody moves in? Are you able to go directly in like a direct mail or anything like that out there?
We don't do the direct mail piece as much as we used to for new movers, just because of the cost of postage. Every year postage goes up and up and up. But
Right.
every day, there's new technologies to go out and target people digitally. So yes, you are able to get that information, and there's actually some new platforms coming out now that you're getting a little more targeted information on new movers. In the past, new mover information was always 90 days delayed. Basically, it was after somebody turned on the water bill, the light bill, they've already closed on a home. Now you're able to get some information on the beginning process of people purchasing a home, so you can start targeting before they actually move into a house.
That's good. That's good. I figured you was probably doing that. I know a lot of companies do target that particular consumer base, and it's good because you have people moving in. Again, you got people moving into your market space from another state or wherever, and when they get in there, I mean, you kind of want to be on point to be in front of them to say, hey, you're moving in here. Don't forget we're here for you, and that kind of thing. So it's a tremendous avenue, and I know I know some members that do very, very well approaching that particular vertical. So that's good. Let me ask you another question. When you how is it to you? Probably the best way to say this. What kind of challenges do you have in today's market finding quality people?
That is probably the biggest challenge in today's market. The good people have jobs, and people that
Yeah.
are people that are valued employees. We try not to let them leave, and then other companies are doing the same thing. There are a few people out there, obviously, to get in and bring in. It's just there's a lot more due diligence that you have to do. We try to. I go as far as when I get an application or a resume, I start looking at social media. I look at their Facebook pages. We want to make sure they're a good fit for our brand, but you can also kind of tell a lot about people. Are they changing jobs every 15 days, every 20 days? What kind of stability do they have? But yeah, it's if you find a solution to find a bunch of people, let me know because it's tough.
Right. Well, there's one caveat that you can certainly know it's not going to work when they come in and apply for a retail store job and they say we want to work from home.
Yeah.
We know that one is not going to work very well. But it is a big challenge.
The biggest part today, everybody wants a weekend off, and we're in retail, and that's when I talk to potential manager candidates, and I explain to my managers when they're hiring people. Obviously, we're a retail business, we're a promotion business. 4th of July, we're selling furniture. Your family might be drinking beer and barbecuing, but we're slinging sofas.
Yeah, I tell you what, I know all about retail. I was there for 7 years, and it's long hours, and it's kind of like when the consumer's buying, we're open. It's just the way life is, and that's kind of how you have to do it. By the way, I was reading an article yesterday. I find it quite interesting. Do you there's a gentleman by the name of Jason Dorsey. Have you ever heard of him?
I can't say that I have.
All right. You ought to look this up sometime. Just take a minute or two. He does a lot of the generational stuff. So he studies all the different generations and what makes them kind of tick, what drives them, and all that kind of stuff. I was reading an article. I'm on his email list, and I get these articles every so often. I got one yesterday, and he was talking about Generation X. So Generation X would be my children, and that group of people. He's saying that has become the absolute glue right now that is driving the commerce out there and really holding all of this together. They're spending the money and all that kind of stuff. They got children, and so anyway, my generation, the baby boomers, our day, for a period of time, we were the force. I mean, we were the ones out there doing it. Now it's moved into that Generation X, and of course, you got so many generations you have to deal with today. When you consider the X and the Ys and the Zs and the As and whatever else is coming, I mean, there's a ton of them. But the thing is, trying to figure out exactly where to market and how to market. That was his whole thing about. That's the crucial mass that we've got to come to grips with. Just running ads all over the place, a lot of it is just wallpaper. It really doesn't do anything for you. But finding out that correct space and finding out where the money is and finding out where the base is that has the power to put, as I say, put sales on the table for our retailers and stuff like that. But anyway, he was saying yesterday, Generation X is really, really the glue right now that is coming together. I don't know if you see that same thing or not.
Yeah, I do. I'm Generation X. I'm 51. Generation X is 45 to 55 right now. So I mean, and that's the age where people are typically in their highest earning power and earning capabilities. So yeah, they're going to drive the revenue. But our philosophy is we don't want to forget about everybody else either. We look at, that's why we talked about earlier about, targeting or lookalike customers. So we do a lot of research with our finance companies to see the customer that's buying from us so we can go out and target that same type of profile of customer. But then we also want to go out for a customer that, typically maybe not buy from us. Like you said, the millennials and stuff like that. The key is you got to put a different message in front of both parties. The things I like, Generation X is way different than what millennials like. My 16-year-old daughter that's on TikTok all day is way different. But those people eventually are going to be 45 and 55. So if your brands have found them early, you get them to start buying early, then they turn it into a potential long-term customer.
Yeah. Well, and again, you got to think about just like yourself. Like you say, you got a daughter. People got, sons, daughters, whatever. And as these children are getting older, the Generation X crowd, generating strong revenues and good money, also work toward, just like our generation. I can only tell you that probably in 25, I was probably notified about 10 times by my grandchildren. Called up to, hey, Grandpa, how you doing today, man? Everything been? I haven't talked for you in a while. It always gets around to some conversation about, hey, you're in this business. What do you think? What washer and dryer do you think I should buy? What about that? What about that? But it always filters down to, where should I go get that? And then it usually comes to the point, do you think you could help me out a little bit here? Well, let me tell you something. I bought a lot of appliances in 25. They didn't go in my house, though. Yeah. they went elsewhere. The point I want to make is there's a lot of money, and there's a lot of money spent because of the transfer, So, again, a lot of that's in play out there. So it's just things like that. Let me ask you a question. First of all, before I go any further, I just want to say, it's an absolute honor on my part to have Belfurniture in our group. We are thrilled to death to have you here. We want to do everything that we possibly can to make sure that our relationship is strong and we're always taking care of things that you guys need. So I want to get that on the table right now and say thank you, Mr. Troy, for being such a strong partner of ours. Okay? All right. Now, let's talk a little bit about your financing. That's a big piece of stuff. Do you carry your own paper, or do you are you outsourcing everything?
We outsource our paper for sure. We use Synchrony, a little bit of Wells Fargo, and then obviously there's tons of LTO companies we do business with. The AFS, Qualifies, Progressives. So yes, to us, finance is very, very important because, as most retailers should know, they spend other people's money a lot more than they spend their own money. So your average ticket is going to be a lot higher if it's finance. So, we don't want to push a customer to do something they don't want to do, but we do want to offer finance early and often because we know that they're able to buy more and get it in their house if it can, fit inside of, a comfortable monthly budget.
Yeah. And, talking about that, so if you look at your business today and you say, what is the percentage that would be financed?
Today, we're probably at 52, 53%, close to that.
Okay. So you're right around the halfway part. And, it's an amazing thing because a lot of times when you talk about the service contracts that's in the warranty, it's easy to add in there because you can just say, hey, it adds a few dollars a month, but you're covered. And we find that to be a really big selling tool. Well, that's all interesting. Is there any other subjects, anything you're thinking about, anything you'd like to ask us, or anything like that?
Well, what's coming up new? We were supposed to meet back in Nashville, and unfortunately, I got sick, so I missed half of the primetime show. So
yeah, that's right. Now, we're going down in we're going to Fort Lauderdale in March.
Coming up.
I'm sure you'll be coming down there. Then we also, in the fall of the year, so we have a prime time in March, prime time in August, and then we go, so we'll be in Fort Lauderdale. I think, Gerardo, do we come back into Nashville then? I think it is, isn't it? The next one? Yeah. So we're going to Lauderdale, Nashville. Then we will have a regional meeting inside of the region that we were. We was at College Station in November, okay? So we'll have and those are really, really good. I'm going to tell you why. We had a big turnout. It's all kind of roundtable discussions amongst just members. So we had all the members get together, and it came off very good. We got a lot of really, really good feedback, and we're going to do that again next year. They like to get together, Troy. They like to talk to each other. They like to find out what's going on and what are you using in your area or something like that. So we'll make sure that you're included in all of that as well. Are you going to the Las Vegas Furniture Market?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I'll be out there.
All right. We're going to be out there too. So we'll make sure that we hook up out there and try to, we have a little meeting. We'll have a showroom. We'll let you know where that's at. You come down. We'll sit down and talk. Maybe we have lunch or something like that. Is that good?
Looking forward to it. Sounds great.
All right, buddy. Appreciate you very much, Mr. Troy. Take care of yourself today. Have a great selling season. Happy holidays all the way through. And anytime, if you need anything at all, pick that phone up and call me directly. I'm here for you all the time. Okay?
Yes, sir. Sounds great. Thank you for everything.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too.